What's up guys, Jeff with Top Star Mobile Detailing, Las Vegas. In today's video, we're gonna be talking a little bit about imposter syndrome, as well as a few other things that we wanna discuss. Had somebody reach out to me and tell me that they were struggling a little bit about feeling like an imposter when they first got started with their business. So we're gonna dive into that a little bit. We also have a few different vehicles that we're gonna be doing. We're at a client's house right now that we do maintenance for. We're gonna do an exterior detail on this giant dually that you see here. And then of course you can come around the garage. We're gonna also be doing these two vehicles as well. We got a BMW to do and then a Mercedes on the other side of this. The Mercedes actually has a dead battery in it, so we're gonna jump the battery on that using our Naco jump starter system that we covered in another video. So we'll show you how that works as well, so that way we can pull that out and get it into the driveway where we can actually wash it. So stick around guys and let's jump into the video.
So Jeff, what is imposter syndrome? Explain that to people so they understand what it is.
So what imposter syndrome is kind of like when you're first getting started doing something, you don't really have the experience yet, and you get that feeling kind of like you're an imposter. You're not really a professional yet. You don't really know what you're doing. I know personally when I started my business, I experienced that a little bit myself too, especially going into your very first client. You've never actually detailed for a paying client before. You might have done friends and family, but it's a little bit different when you're actually dealing with like your first paying customer. And I think a lot of people, when they first go to that detail, you're going up to the client and you feel like maybe you shouldn't really be there, or you're not qualified to be doing this particular job. But the reality is, guys, is that the customer doesn't know whether you've done one car, 100 cars, 1,000 cars, right? So it's really just about approaching it with that level of confidence as, hey, I can do this, I got this, right? And as long as you're providing a good result for them at the end, that's all that they're really gonna care about. Now, it might take you a little bit longer when you're first getting started, but you should be able to provide those same results to the customer, even if it takes you a little bit more time, and that's natural in the beginning. You have to develop your systems, your processes, where you'll become more efficient and faster as time goes on and you gain more experience from doing more cars out in the field. So don't feel like an imposter, guys. I've had a couple people reach out to me about this specific topic and say they were feeling a little bit like that. I've also had somebody else ask me about that with YouTube too, as far as starting a YouTube channel. And do you feel like an imposter when you started your YouTube channel? I didn't really feel that way about YouTube because I never tried to come across as like an expert on YouTube when I was just getting started, and I don't try to come across as an expert now. It's really just more about the things that I've learned along my detailing journey, and I'm just sharing that with you out there. So I've never said that, hey, I'm an expert or I'm a master at doing this. I'm still learning and growing every day in the detailing game, and you should be as well. It's something that you never reach a certain point where you just stop learning or growing. So for me, it was always just like, hey, this is just the way that I do things. I'm not saying it's the best way or this is the only way to do things. It's just the way that I do things, and I'm just sharing that with you. You can take the things that I do and what you like out of it and use that, and if there's things that I do that you don't like, just scrap it and do your own thing. Everybody has their own processes and systems that they follow in their own businesses. So do what works for you in your business, and don't feel like an imposter. Just go with it as like, hey, I'm just getting started, I'm learning, and the confidence will come as the experience grows as you stay in the business longer over time. So a lot of people ask us why we don't use canopies out here in Vegas, because it's super hot, there's very little shade, but we're already getting the wind starting to pick up. It's probably around 10-15 miles an hour. I'm gonna have Corum pan over to this driveway right across, and you can see this canopy that's in the driveway over there. If you can zoom in on it, Corum. That canopy was actually just flat, and it looked like a new canopy when we arrived, and now you can see it's starting to lift off from the wind. The top of it's already starting to like rip apart, and this is just 10 to 15 mile an hour winds. We get gusts out here in Vegas that can gust up to 30 to 40 miles an hour like that. It comes on quick. And if your canopy is not weighted down really, really heavy, I'm not talking 5-10 pounds of weight on each side, you've got to have like 50 pounds of weight on each side to do that, to really keep that thing secured to the ground. Not only do you have to carry around the canopy, you have to carry around all that weight with you to secure it down. And we're just not really willing to take that risk of one of those metal legs possibly dragging down the side of somebody's car, scratching it, doing some damage. You know, it's just, in our opinion, it's just really not worth that risk. But let me know out there, guys, are you using canopies in your business? Are you in an area where you have to deal with this wind? It's super windy. I don't know if Corm, you can pan up and see the trees right now. Like, it just started picking up. It was completely calm probably 20-30 minutes ago, and now I don't know if that's interfering with the mics or not, but it's getting really windy out here. So anyways, we're gonna get back to the detail. Just wanted to share that with you guys. Let's go.
So Jeff, I don't know about you, but I am so sick of breathing in generator fumes all day, man.
Yeah, between that and the noise that this thing's cranking out, it's also getting harder and harder to start. We keep having issues with the remote starter. On the pull, this is, you can see here on the cord, this is starting to fray. Yeah. So get kind of concerned that that's going to probably break at some point. So what we decided to do on our van build that we're having done over at H2O in West Covina, we're actually going to be switching over to the new EcoFlow inverter for our next setup. We're going with the most powerful one that's available on that. It's going to be the EcoFlow Pro Ultra, I believe it's called, but it's really big. It's designed to power like a whole home system at once. So that's going to give us more than enough juice we need to run multiple pieces of equipment at the same time. So that's another thing that we've been dealing with a lot, is now that Corum and I have been working together out of the same unit, we're realizing it's becoming a struggle to run multiple things at the same time without tripping that generator. So by switching to the EcoFlow Ultra, that's gonna give us all the juice that we need to pretty much run everything at the same time if we actually wanted to. Not that we'll be doing that, but we do run multiple things, and that's gonna solve that issue for us. So can't wait to get switched over to the EcoFlow. Let us know on that, guys. Are any of you guys out there using the EcoFlow? Which one are you using? Which model? How do you like it? What are the drawbacks of it? What are the pros and cons? Drop it in the comments below.
Hey Jeff, we recently pulled up to the Wynn to do a Sprinter van, man. Tell them the story. What happened then?
Yeah, so that was an interesting one. Like I said, casinos don't allow detailing on their properties. It's nothing but liability for them, and there's really nothing out of it. They don't make anything off of it, so they're not really inclined to want to work with you to be able to allow you to detail there. That being said, I did tell this customer that was staying there, said they're not going to allow us to detail, especially at the Wynn. This is a really like high-end casino. So I said we'd have to meet you off the strip somewhere with your Sprinter van, and we're happy to do it there. So he said, all right, well, let me think about it. Let me call you back. We get a call back a couple hours later. He's like, hey, I got permission from the casino to do it there. He said, it's no problem. Just meet me there 7 in the morning. Corum and I rock up, pull up with the trailer, and he's parked right up front of the Wynn Casino. And I'm like, okay, so where do you want to go? I'm thinking there's like a back parking lot or something like that where we're going to detail. And he's like, no, we're going to do it right here. And I'm like, bro, there's no way they're going to allow us to detail this right here in front. There's going to be soap and water everywhere. There's people walking around. Like, it's never going to fly. And he's like, oh no, I got permission, it's fine. They said it's okay. I got a text message, you know, here that shows that it's okay. Corum and I set up, we got the whole vehicle all foamed, we're starting to wash everything. Not even 20 minutes into it, of course, security rolls up and they're like, what are you guys doing? Like, you can't do this here. And we're like, no, we have permission. We got a text, see, you know. And the guy's like, No, man, you can't do it here. So we were like, oh, great, we got foam all over this giant Sprinter van. You know, we're in the middle of the job. And I said, look, can we just finish what we're doing? We got probably about 15 minutes left. We'll be done, we'll be out of here. And the guy was like, okay, that's fine, just wrap it up, get out of here as quick as possible. And for future reference, you're not allowed to detail at the casino. So reason why I'm sharing this with you, if there's other detailers out there in Vegas, and you know, you guys get clients that are at casinos and they ask you to come to this casino, the likelihood of them letting you detail there is very, very low, especially if it's on the main strip. It's probably not going to happen. So keep that in mind if you're booking an appointment there. Don't waste time going there. You're most likely going to get kicked out. So meet up with your client somewhere off the strip. There are a few like shopping centers and parking lots that don't have security that you could detail there. Let us know if you guys ever run into these problems anywhere else that you're at too, outside of Vegas. Have you been kicked out by security before? Have you been like mid-detail and like you got everything set up and they tell you get out of there? And how did you handle the situation? Drop it in the comments below.
So Jeff, man, it's heating up, man. It's like 112 degrees. What do we have in the cooler?
Yeah, so you got to come prepared when you're dealing in these type of conditions. We like to keep lots of fresh fruit. We got some watermelon in here, some regular melon to get us through. We got our raisins, rougens, san peepins, which is basically a fancy word for seedless grapes, I believe. We got those. We got some beef jerky to get us through for our protein for the day. A couple of little meat sticks. And then some protein bars in here, little snacks. We already got through our sandwiches. They were supposed to make us to lunch, but we couldn't hold out any longer.
So Jeff, what the hell is that tub right there, bro?
This?
Yeah.
This is our new Legends Hydrate electrolyte hydration drink. It's filled with amino acids and electrolytes. So we use these in our bottled water. We just throw a scoop in about a bottle this size, or sometimes even in the larger sizes like this. Just depends how you like to dilute it. But this keeps us hydrated throughout the day. Tastes delicious. If you guys want to try this one's the cherry bomb. We also have lemon lime. You can order these through our Instagram, Legends Hydrate. If you go over and check it out, shoot us a DM if you want information on it. But these are really great, been getting us through the day, keep us hydrated. When you're working out in these conditions, you know, it's very taxing on your body and you don't want that fatigue to set in. So you need to be able to perform in these conditions. That's what gives me the energy to keep going, is staying hydrated properly. And it keeps me going all day long like this. So check out the Legends Hydrate when you guys get a chance. Where the hell is Quorum at? Quorum, where are you? My director of operations, hard at work. Found him a nice, cool spot. Where's your shoes?
I took those off because my feet were overheating.
Oh man, hot feet syndrome?
Yeah.
We don't want that to happen. Maybe you should get some Legends Hydrate, cool you back down. There's a cold plunge in the garage if you want to jump inside there, man.
Maybe we should fill it with hydrate and I'll dunk my head in it.
Yeah, there we go. All right, time to wake up, buddy. Back to work. We got 2 more cars to do.
All right.
Pull yourself together. We got to rally.
So, yeah!
Jeff, what's that silly little mitt you got on your fingers?
Yes, so this is something I actually picked up while we were working with Jonathan from Best in Class a couple weeks back out in California. He had these in his wheel bucket, and they're good for like kind of getting in around behind the spokes of the wheels. Like normally we were using these, but it's really complicated to get through like to the other side. So he turned us onto one of these where he can actually fit his whole entire little hand inside of this thing. I can only get like a couple of fingers in here, but it's really good for just kind of getting around behind these spokes like this, or you can kind of get in the edge of the rim like that with one finger. So I'm not sure do you remember the brand, what this is?
I think it's Max Shine, maybe?
Maybe Max Shine, we're not 100% sure. We'll take a look and try to drop the link below for you under the video. Thanks, Jonathan, for turning us on to these little mini hand mitts. Appreciate you, brother. As we mentioned earlier, we finished the first two vehicles, the dually truck, the BMW. Now we're moving on to the Mercedes Maybach. This one has a dead battery, so in order to be able to get it out into the client's driveway where we can do the exterior detail, we're gonna need to jump start it first. That's why I always carry one of these jump kits. This one is the Naco Boost HD 2000 amp. This is kind of like a middle to upper range one. This will jumpstart pretty much everything except for maybe like heavy duty machinery, like semi trucks, things like that. You might need a little bit more powerful one. But for most jumps, this is going to do the job. So as Corum comes over here, we've got the red terminal here. Right, we're just going to stick that on there. Make sure that's on there. And then the black one, there's not a terminal for the battery. So what we usually do in this circumstance, we're gonna stick this on this bolt down here. If I can get my hand in there. Get out of the way, Corum. Hold on one second. Let me get this. Okay, so that one's on the bolt. So as long as that one's on a bolt on metal, we should be good. And then what we're gonna do, we're gonna turn this on. Let that get fired up. And I just heard the car come on. Did you hear that noise?
Yeah, I just heard it.
Right? So we're gonna try to crank it up now. I think that should be good.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned, stand by.
Damn, what's up, Jeff? You look disappointed, man.
Yeah, so unfortunately, the Naco Boost didn't work. We tried it multiple times. Usually this will just fire up a car like that. It's really quick. With this one, it might be some other issue besides the battery, not really sure. We don't really have that much time to keep messing around with it. We do have other cars lined up for the day. So we're gonna pull the BMW back in the garage and we're gonna head on to the next detail. So I wanted to talk to you guys about something today. A couple weeks ago, I was here on location detailing this Cadillac Escalade. It's a brand new Cadillac. The customer is kind of meticulous about the vehicle, and they did mention that ahead of time. I had a little accident while I was here, so I want to point that out if Corum can pan over to this little spot right here. I know this doesn't look like much, guys, but I was actually working on the vehicle and I was pressure washing this area here, and there was some tree sap that had settled in on this little rubber piece here, and I had got up on it with the pressure washer just a little bit too close. It was really hot that day, so this rubber material is like really soft and kind of mushy, so the pressure washer kind of carved into that and made a couple little lines where the pressure washer hit it. I wanted to be completely transparent with the customer at the end, so I did go over that with them. You know, I said, had a little mishap with your vehicle. I want to point it out to you. I'm happy to pay for any damages that I've caused. I looked up the piece, found that it was around $100 or something to have it replaced, so nothing too big. I offered to do that. I also gave them a free detail on their other vehicle for my mistake on that. You know, and they reached back out to me to do their vehicles again, and now I've converted them over to a maintenance customer. And the reason why they said that they chose to call me back and go with that is because of how honest I was with them about how I handled the situation. And they said, you know, that's the type of person that I want to work with and the person that I trust my vehicles with. So let me know what you guys think. Have you ever had that happen to you before where you caused damage? I know a lot of detailers out there would probably, you know, do something like this. Not a lot, but there are some detailers out there that might do something like this and just kind of turn a blind eye to it and just leave without actually addressing it with the customer. And then it can become an issue later. So personally, I like to deal with these things up front. Like I said in other videos, your brand, your reputation, your integrity, you should protect that at all costs. So I don't go with as far as taking money over my brand or reputation. That's always going to set precedent over the actual money. But let me know what you guys think on that. Have you had any issues where you caused damage to a customer's car and you had to have that uncomfortable, awkward conversation with them. I know these things can never be fun, but it is something that happens out there in the real world. We're mobile detailers, you know, as much experience as we all have, there are going to be times where you have small little accidents like this or issues, and it's not really a big deal. It just comes down to how you handle the situation and address it with your customer. So let me know what you guys think. Drop it in the comments below.
Hey Jeff, why are we at the UPS store?
Yeah, so we got another order that just came in for the Legends Hydrate. We're gonna jump in here over at the UPS, ship this out. If you're a member of the Legends community, you also get a keychain, an Average is the Enemy keychain, as well as a sticker with your order. So if you haven't had a chance to check out the new Legends community for detailers, go over there and check that out. There'll be a link in the video description below.
So Jeff, where the hell are we going now, man?
So we got the Hydrate shipped out. Now we actually have to run over to BMW because apparently there's some type of recall on the electronic system that they need to repair on this, which is super inconvenient because we need this to tow the trailer, but they're going to give us a brand new Chevy Silverado that we can use for the next day or two while this is being serviced, which is actually okay because they didn't have the charger cable available for this, and it's a hybrid. So I haven't been able to charge it since I picked it up. So this way I could at least stick it on their charger system overnight, let the battery juice back up to 100%, and then we'll be getting better mileage with the hybrid system. This thing gets around 50 to 55 miles per gallon with the hybrid system when the battery's fully charged. So it's really good on fuel costs. And power-wise too, it has a lot more power than the other one. It still has the same B58 Turbo 6, but it also has a hybrid motor that puts out 100 extra horsepower. Look at this guy doing the wheelie. Pretty crazy, man, only in Vegas, right? But this puts out an additional 100 horsepower, so altogether it's like 500 horsepower and around 700-ish torque. So it pulls the trailer no problem, super smooth. This one's actually meant for towing. It has a tow package as well, where it raises the height of the vehicle or lowers it due to the amount of weight that's on the hitch, which is really, really cool. My other one didn't do that since we just stuck a hitch on there like aftermarket. It wasn't really designed for it. So anyways, we're gonna be heading over to BMW now. We're gonna wrap it up because our camera has been overheating non-stop today with it being 110, 111 degrees outside. We're having trouble keeping the camera from overheating. So we're gonna finish up here. Hope you guys got some value out of this video. If you're getting value out of this content, please do us a favor, like, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.